Hey, what's going on, guys? Lurkin here from Mobalytics, and I'm coming at you real quick with a early endgame, like Torment 1, Torment 2, Torment 3. Like, this build's going to get you by. It's a fireball build. We're going to be running Frozen Orb enchantment to apply vulnerable and apply crowd control and utilize damage from things such as Hoarfrost, etc. Then we're going to be running Ice Blade enchantment to help apply vulnerable to single target and reduce all our cooldowns. Our skill bar is going to look like Lightning Spear for concentration mastery stacks and vulnerable. You can run familiars or unstable currents here. It's really up to you. If you run unstable currents, you're going to want Orange Herald. I mentioned that in the build guide. And then this is just the build so far, and you can just look at the build guide, but my gear isn't perfect. I know you see a 12 out of 12 Perdition, like, oh, your gear, and like a 9 out of 12, but if we really look at my Illuminator gloves, they're good, but like they're not upgraded. And like my Endless Rage is a 750, it's a 62%, it's unupgraded. My amulet is literally just an aspect with a 11% int and some attack speed, so I'm missing a lot on this build. And ideally with the Perdition here, I would have GA Rakanoffs for cooldown reduction. So let's just slide real quick. Let's get a little attack speed elixir going. Let's slide right into a T65 just to show you what it looks like in T4. I think without Ubers, this build would be able to enter T4. Kidding. Yeah, so I just did a run earlier and it was really bad because my skill tree was giga scuffed, and I fixed my skill tree and I added so much damage. I still have my Frozen Orb skill tree basically. I was like, yo, this is bad. I'm not too interested in the elemental daggers on this. I think you're just going to lose too much damage off fireball to have the dagger proc be worth it. We only have one aspect slot in this build, and in my opinion, that's going to go strictly to 3 curses at 68% crit strike damage. There's no question in my mind that I'm unwilling to give up all that damage. And like fireball hits for a respectable amount, especially considering the nerfs that we saw, like to everything, to intelligence, to the glyphs. I'm really impressed with this. I think this build's gonna pump easily. A tier easy. I think there's gonna end up being some bugged things, mainly Frostburns and Azarath. If they make it to live, they're gonna warp the meta. It's gonna end up being Chain Lightning with Frostburns and Azarath, but I'm gonna play Fireball. Straight up. I think either Fireball or Frozen Orb. I'm kind of tired of. I hate to say it, I'm kind of tired of Frozen Orb and Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear is not gutted, as I'm showing in another video. It's like totally fine, but considering how little I have invested into this build, it's like straight up pumping for yeah. I have unupgraded 750 gloves and staff, and it's giga pumping. I might die here. I want to like keep an eye on enlightenment and how the uptime is. Fortunately, I can't see it. Where'd my enlightenment go? I'm gonna let some of these buffs fall off. There it is. Alright, so it's stacking up, and it's up. Cast, stacking down. Alright, let's run out, and let's re-begin our gameplay loop. And I can't really tell. Too many buffs. They need to add a 3rd row. Alright, so it's like almost stacked up already again. Let's see how the boss kill is. I'm okay. Oh, well, that was alright. So Perdition is bugged in this version of the build, so I did like 200% more damage to that boss than I should have, but he died in like 5 seconds, so maybe he would have taken 12 or 15. So like that's okay. Welcome to upgrading Glyphs. 3 fails on a 70% chance. Enjoy. But as you can see, I'm running Destruction, Elementalist. Unleash, Flame Feeder, and Tactician. Ideally, I would not be running Unleash, and I would be running Pyromaniac. Let's find her. Pyromaniac's really nice. It's now boosting all rare nodes. And, you know, you're just going to get 10% damage, and then that 5% fire damage will go to another 10%. So if we'll look real quick, I'm just going to gloss over what the Paragon will be. It'll be like Tactician on the Elementalist on the starter. We'll go on the Burning Instinct. There's a ton of crit damage, damage to burning enemies, crit strike damage, damage to burning. Elite DR, we'll put Tactician here to boost up this crit damage. That's fine. And then I ended up slotting Unleash here. Unleash is kind of nice because it boosts, it's like just all these crit strike damage nodes and the dexterity and the willpower, which help you hit racks on the 4th and possibly 5th board. There's some plus maximum fire resist. We have Searing Heat, DR Burning. As you can see, it's sort of hard to hit some of the wrecks, but if I had more intelligence, we'd be good there. You okay, Juno? Oh, is she coughing? Sorry. My baby girl, she has a little asthma fit. Oh, you can't see her. Anyways, let me get back to this. I'll get to you in a second, baby. I'm sorry. So we take Flame Feeder, Frigid Fate, you know, all these quality of life nodes and vulnerable damage, and then last but not least, Fundamental Release for 30% damage. Burning DR, and unfortunately, as you can see, like I'm really struggling to hit these wrecks up here. Like 2400 in, that's gonna be a tough cookie. That's a tough ask. 510 will, 510 dex, like it's gonna be a tough angle, and that's with 299 Paragon points. Like it's definitely gonna be tough. Magic node boosters are gonna be a little bit clutch. All right, so the biggest things with Fireball, I think that the biggest thing that changed this season is that you're now free of Firebolt enchantment because the enhanced node applies burning over 6 seconds. It frees us up. I really like Frozen Orb enchant with it, as I was saying, because you can run Hoarfrost, freeze enemies. It helps apply vulnerable, and it also just looks sweet. It can freeze enemies. It's great. Yeah, you can definitely just get more damage out of that. And then, you know, if you're, I think in the beginning, I don't think you run Enlightenment because your cooldowns are so bad. But like, I'm getting away with Enlightenment, and I have literally 11 cooldown reduction plus the 12 from the skill tree, from the new node right here, Evocation. So I think early, when you don't have Starless and stuff, you can run Ancient Flame with Asus Ferocity. It can sort of bridge the gap to the attack speed here, and like if we take this off, see the mana's like okay, it is sort of self-sustaining itself, and then once you get more attack speed, you know, it'll keep sustaining itself, but that's with a 2 mana per bounce. The second you upgrade this thing a little bit, maybe get a masterwork hit on it, or just like even take it to 3 mana per bounce, like all this resource gen that you see is immediately going to go, you know, 50% more. So as long as you're not smashing your fireball into a wall, as you can see, once you start hitting it into a wall, there's no bounces, then there's no mana per bounce. But this build comes fully online with just Endless Rage and Illuminator. In worst case, you can always just run like Elemental Acuity or Prodigy or something on a ring to help regen the mana. But the replacement for Starless will definitely be an Ancient Flame Ring. Right here for 55% attack speed when both bonuses of Asus Ferocity are active. And that's when you hit a boss or kill an enemy with a critical strike. So that's just something to be aware of, that you should probably start on Asus Ferocity. And then once you get the train rolling, we'll run Enlightenment. All right, guys. This is going to be probably the first build that I play on this season. And I might just take this as far as I can go. And one thing to note too is with the Paragon is like I'll probably have Pyromaniac in the build guide, but instead of, where is it? Pyromaniac. Let's just move this. My head's blocking it a little bit. I'll probably have Pyromaniac in the build guide, but if you want to just be able to transition to another build after this, you may want to take something more generic, such as Exploit or Eliminator, or say Unleash, something like that. That way you're not wasting your time leveling a glyph that you're going to end up removing. But That's just something to keep in mind. Like Destruction, Tactician, Elementalist, and like Flame Feeder are 4 glyphs that can basically go on any build, and then it's sometimes best to just pick a generic glyph because it's going to be kind of hard to level your glyphs. So pick 5 generic ones. Like I've just been running every build with Tactician, Destruction, Elementalist, Unleash, and Flame Feeder. I'll go over them a bit slower so you can pause and look at them if you want, kind of see what they're doing. They're looking pretty solid, all of them. Just generic damage, works on basically everything besides pure burning builds. Alright, that's it. I'm done rambling. You are free of me. Enjoy your day.